Hello there, everyone. Welcome to the second round for the Chosen of the Gods 6K 2v2. We still have Team ONYX and Corvusite at it again. ONYX managed to win the very first round, so Corvusite here is going to want to hope to win the second round to stay in this tournament. I'm joined again, of course, by Darg.
Hello.
And yeah, we're playing on Tumbleweed now. It's a very different map than Styx. Lots of very good positions for beams to play. There's a lot of different places to poke out. It's quite a dynamic map, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how these teams manage to handle it. Darg, could you take over for the fleets?
No, you got it, babe.
Oh, okay, I've got it. Oh, sure thing. Well, if we take a look at ONYX here, they seem to be focusing on the ANS spawn's right-hand side. They've got Spy Vet, Trebuchet, Strauss, and so a bunch of light assets headed heading out far wide on the right-hand side. Sending a few straight there in the center, one customary B capper, but they're completely ignoring the E point, which it goes against usually the way I would play the game. I'd be sending assets towards that A point to try and contest it because ANS can get pretty good position there. Corvusite on the other side is mainly focusing, looks like, on a D push. They've got quite a lot of ships here lined up, pushing towards it. Not a lot of ships in formation, though, so that suggests that they don't have a lot of monitors. But we'll see whenever all the ships zoom in here, if that's the case. Yep, here we go. Let's see, what are we looking at here?
We're dropping down with the ANS team, and I will take it over and not make Vastol guess as to which ship is on the screen and
Yeah.
go through the fleets that way. That would be very funny, though. I'll keep that in mind for a future option. We're here with a capping spinner. Wow, ANS very light on the tonnage here. 0 beam battleships. Oh boy, this is going to be a good game. I can already feel it. Mr. Meanie. Gun sprinter. Was that a Mark 64? Yeah, that's a Mark 64 on a gun sprinter. Okay. He's also got a gun voxel with 2 sets of VLS-3s, presumably S3Hs, which are named Torpedo. That's illegal. We've also got a beam destroyer, standard anti-cap beam destroyer, bullseye, jammer, soft kill, possibly an AMM or 2, but no hard kill turrets on it. Also a S2H and S2 bomber vet over here. Another gun sprinter. What's with all the gun sprinters? They're making me... I don't know how I feel about that. We've also got a sprinter masquerading as a battleship. Probably going to pretend to be a beam battleship and move around menacingly. Stay away! Because normally you do expect lots of beam battleships on this map. It's also got a 450 Axford with not very much on it. This is a 450 Axford and not much else. It's got a spyglass, it's got some ammo elevators, it's even got a couple of, it's even got 4 track correlators. Almost no point defense and hardly any soft kill either. Just some chaff and ADs. Oof. Risky business. Might pay off for him though. It's tricky going soft kill light on Tumbleweed with Missile's ability to just boink around rocks. Another beam destroyer for anti-cap duties, and then another gun sprinter. Man, what with a Mark 64 under it? Why? Spicy has 3 Axfords. Here's the front line. These are the more traditional. Well, one of them is the more traditional style. Another one's empty. So 2 Axfords from Spicy with very few mounts. One with the standard interrupt and hard kill and stuff. I don't know how I feel about those extra dudes. They're super greedy. But I'm not sure if OSP is going to have much of the way to punish that. I don't think they have any missile ships just based on glancing at them. Another pair of anti-capping beam destroyers. And 2 jam sprinters, double jam sprinters, and 1 nearly naked capping device. Let's jump over to the OSP side of the map. We are going to have to pick things up here just a little bit. There have been some missiles fired out from one of the MMTs. It is going to miss, though. So nothing too crazy happening. Crow's got a whole lot of monitors. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of monitors.
Yeah, my guess was wrong. I was assuming, seeing that they weren't in formation, that they would have been, well, something else.
C90, Plasma, T30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them all spread out, plus 3 C90, T30 no Plasma with Grazer and Soft Kill and probably AMMs. And yeah. Dispersed monitors, well, semi-dispersed monitors. Some of them are bunched up, some of them are far away from each other. Dramus rocking the Cap Gaming as per the usual. He's got a wing of multi-mission tugs, 3 of them, which are currently ending the life of the A-Cap. Yeah, bye, see you later. Masquerade didn't last long. Pair of, or an MMT escorting an EWR tug. And a Cello escorting some monitors. It's got hard kill, not a whole lot of soft kill, but it does have a command ball. 1, 2, 3 C90 Plasma T30 monitors. With that Ocello. A couple gun sprinters littered around the map. A couple naked sprinters littered around the map, or shuttles rather. OSP does get a strong cap lead right off the bat. They're not able to secure the cap on Delta, but they are able to deny it. They're up 3-1. If they can get 4-1 at the opening, that's going to be a big deal. I don't think these gun sprinters are going to be able to do very much against the shuttles. I mean, the shuttles aren't going to be able to do very much back. Ah, there it is. Beam Destroyer will handle it, though. ANS getting that recap on the Delta point. We'll be able to get into this game and on the scoreboard here before too long. A couple gun sprinters going on this massive flank out here. So we were seeing a lot of assets being deployed on the right side of the map. Up here as local tournament leader Vastol did properly explain, but a lot of those have dove into the middle of the map instead of staying on that flank side. The triple Axfords pushing into the Warrens here, the fucking the rock, burrows. The burrows, yeah, the burrows of Tumbleweed. Gonna struggle to make use of that track correlated spyglass, but we'll be able to control what can see them. They won't get fired from a bunch of different angles, and if they get an angle on something, they'll be able to do a ton of damage. These tugs are parked and locked. 450 HE going to absolutely destroy these tugs quite quickly at this angle, unless they get a move on and fast. Tugs dumping out some missiles after one of the sprinters. Oh yeah, look at that. All these 450 rounds fusing right in the middle of that ship. Taking it to Pound Town.
Ooh.
And some Donkey Kong 64 free-climbing noises up in here.
Why are they deciding to stay there just to get shot at?
I believe Dramus is very busy managing his clap fleet. He is backing him off now.
His clap fleet?
His clap fleet.
15 ships. Jesus, that is quite a few to manage.
Yeah, see, and I am managing my mouth, trying to talk over all these things all happening at the same time, and it does get disruptive.
Managing your mouth, I would like you to go through all of Duramus's ship names and say them all for us.
I will not be doing that. I'm sure. Okay, so it's all minerals: chloropatite, fluoropatite, hydroxylapatite, flowpyromorphite, hydroxylopyromorphite, andalusite, corundum, ruby, sapphire. Oh, gems, nice. Pseudopatite, serapatite, amatol, torpex, anfo, BNCP. Those are some good names. I like that. I have indeed taken Chemistry 101 and am familiar with the concept of Long names for rocks.
Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. ANS has managed to secure that Delta cap, so they're now only down 2 to 3. They're still behind by 100 points, and I think they're going to struggle to push. The Beam Destroyers are really good defensive vessels, and the Gun Sprinters are good-ish defensive vessels. Well, they're good for grabbing cap points, but they don't have that much in the way of push capability. I guess these Axfords can push, but they're in such a weird spot.
Ooh, a little bit of a tricky thing happening right now for the Corvusite. This Vastol's charging them up on this whole outside of the D point towards these two tugboats, and Crow isn't really responding. Not able to respond, I think, due to the fear of the beam BB. I mean DD and any sprinters going over the D point. But they could end up losing these two tugboats over here, which is a sensor tug and a MMT.
And the low pyromorphite and the hydroxyl pyromorphite are in trouble, no doubt there. Getting some RPF out of that single Mark 64, dude. So for those who don't know, putting a Mark 64 on a sprinter is objectively bad because Mark 64s need buffs to perform effectively, and you cannot put enough ammo elevators in this to make it good. You really want to just bite the bullet and rock the Mark 61s and Mark 62s if you're going to be bringing guns.
I hear a certain rear admiral crying out that no, Mark 64s do belong on sprinters.
I don't know who that is, and I also don't care. Tram is being bullied off that alpha point and having to hide down on the lower right part of the map. Alpha is open for the ANS team to grab, but they don't really have anything in position for that. Looks like the Bastion is going to be heading in there. Momentito. The Claymore covering the cap point. Yeah, OSP's pretty much abandoned this lower side of the map. They're siding up here to take control of Delta. They do look to be a little bit concerned about the far and away Trebuchet.
ANS might be able to get the A point.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely going to get it. No questions there. It's just a matter of time at this point.
There were these monitors that could have been denying it. There's 3 monitors here just by the C point that could have been focusing on it.
I think due to
I didn't see it coming though.
the low amounts of formations, like Crow's not running any of these monitors in formation, I think the micro is getting to be a bit overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, out of formation, they're going to fly a lot better, and they're going to be a little more... going to be able to position them a little better, but it does come with a lot of action tax. Looks like the Andalusite getting a flank on the Axfords. Spots one of them, spots 2 of them. If those monitors and the Ocello can get some 450 and 600 millimeter in the flank side of those, oh, it would even be in the belly. Nice. It's even better. Of those Axfords, that would do a ton of damage. Anus does take a cap advantage now. They're still down about 150 points, but that deficit is going to be shrinking here shortly. Sprinters flying on combat air patrol at the back of the map. He's being launched at the sprinter on Alpha. The tug's eating 450. I need to survive long enough to get these S2s down the field. Oh, they're act command Val. I see. Yeah, Ollie's getting soft killed. by hulls, and then by chaff. Oh, nope.
One hit did manage to hit the beam destroyer's beam though and knocked it out.
No way.
Yeah, one of them went offside and then a beam DD didn't destroy its staff.
Wow, that's painful. Charybdis, beam knocked out. Gonna have to spend one of their stories again doing that immediately. Little wing of multi-mission tugs now down to just one. Hydroxyl Pyromorphite and the Floor Pyromorphite are continuing to take shots from this voxel. Counter battering with some missiles, I don't think that's going to do very much. Yeah, ED goes out, Chaff goes out. He's also had defenders on them. Got wake validators, but the voxel is nose on, so that's not gonna matter. There they go.
It does feel like most of OSP's frontline is just not able to get themselves at the ANS frontline at all.
Yeah, that is what's happening. We got these monitors spread around kind of everywhere. They're not putting any fire down the field. Axfords are finally getting engaged in, plagued by the Andalusite and its gym friends. Forcing them to get to defilade. The Penelope, the Ulysses, and the, what is this, television? Yeah, the television. All having to go to cover. Bagadaka getting beamed by one of the beam destroyers. Losing its nose gun and its plasma cannon. Oh boy. Axford's able to rotate and switch to engaging the Andalusite and gym friends. Won't be too much longer before they'll get their bow to their targets, and then those Axfords are going to take very little damage. Opening engage is pretty decent. The counter batteries.
Monitors are getting deleted right now by a beam destroyer. Claymore is managing to get good hits on both Shivnarat and Bagatooth, knocking out CICs and just drives and pretty much everything.
Oh my. Yeah, Beam Hail is the name of the game here on Tumbleweed. And enough time has elapsed, the beam destroyers are able to get pushed up into position and go on the offensive just a little bit. Carve off some of those monitors. Axford's taking some fire, but not receiving much damage. Yeah, hardly receiving any damage, actually. Oh, the monitors aren't taking that much damage. Oh, okay, there's one. That's a little bit of damage. Yeah, monitors taking significantly more damage than they're dishing out right now. Monitors are splashing out a little bit of plasma onto the beam destroyer. one of the beam destroyers to claim on. It's gonna enable that 100mm to really rip through them. NS has a really secure position here on their right side of the map. They've got Bravo, they've got Delta, they've got Alpha. They have the dab control, if you will, or the bad control, or the deba. Perhaps even abd.
Stop. Oh, jeez.
I like my fantastic acronymization skills.
Doing the joke.
We had some hybrids being fired down here by Javelin down on top of this healthy monitor, but AMM's managed to get one of the missiles, and then the Razor managed to finish off the second one. Pretty expensive ones as well.
Yeah, this is pretty good. The monitors do have pretty good anti-missile setups. Uh-oh. Oh, glonk. Oh!
Did it
It
die
popped
last second?
right before it landed. Yup. Yeah, it sure did. Did not impact the monitor. Meters away from the target. Oh! Monitors do have pretty decent anti-missile setup, but they're not really able to get in there and start killing things, and that's what they want to do with the aggressive gun setup. C90, T30, T81. It's really good against Axfords.
Ooh, the beam coming in yet again, finishing off one of the monitors now finally. It feels like OSP's frontline is getting pretty badly battered, but the ANS frontline is just fine. It's just going to keep firing.
Yep, that is what do be happening. Seen a very similar circumstance to the last game where the frontline just isn't quite, for Team Corvusite, isn't quite where it needs to be. And Team ONYX's frontline is exactly where it needs to be, and they're just winning these gun duels straight up.
There are some pretty expensive, like this is with Duramus's seller here for 3 monitors. That's another nearly 3.5k points, and it's not, besides engaging with those axes for a little bit, it's not been in the fight either, really. Oh, it is starting to push this beam destroyer that is rising. Well, more like it's pivoting to get some beam hits on.
And it's managed to take over a good chunk of the map. They could actually capture the echo point. In fact, I think some of these sprinters are maneuvering to do just that. And the other side's being forced away from being able to engage effectively. And it's also catching up on the points. Part of the game. OSP's gotta get something done here soon. Well, I keep getting beamed. Really hard to do things when all your stuff is green from radiation from the beams.
Yeah, that's the CIC knocked out, and the drive. These beam DDs are also carrying jammers, so they're even harder to kill if you don't have any proper offsets on it.
And there it is, grabbing that echo point. Teams are coming up here to zone out the gun sprinters. But these gun sprinter pairs are doing a surprising amount of damage. I guess there is something to be said for not playing the missile game. Because meta-wise, both factions are pretty heavily invested on average into anti-missile capabilities. So if you just don't do that and instead do pure ballistics, those are wasted points, and you might be able to get out a points advantage. Still think the Mark 64s on the sprinters are a mistake, but that's okay. You just be getting more damage out with 120s and more points efficiently too.
I haven't used enough of those Mark 64 sprinters to have an opinion.
There's another dead monitor to a beam destroyer. The lower alpha part of the map is controlled by the ANS quite soundly. OSP just hemorrhaging the assets. Boink. More missiles cutting up the sensor vessel. And the MT that's over here trying to defend the Echo side of the map. OSP does get on the Delta point though, and I believe my music has ended. There we go.
Oh, some Heck P hits on the monitors now. AMM's managed to stop the last one, but two did hit.
Andalusite and the Gym Friends have engaged the Trebuchet. Damage isn't amazing, but that'll start adding up real fast once the plasma kicks in. So hitting it with some 450 AP, which is punching straight through.
The beam DD below the D point is starting to bring its beam around. It's going to try and peek up here and get at this, well, Andalusite and its friends.
More monitors. Oh boy. Another strong military victory. We've been seeing that all day today. It's been strong military victory after strong military victory. The cap game has been kind of secondary to the big fights that people have been having lately. It's pretty cool in its own way.
Yeah. In this situation, OSP had the early caps, and they just didn't really take advantage of that. They got themselves in positions where they could have just... ANS has to push you now. If the front line was there in the positions that it needed to be to receive the ANS, then they would have been able to make this a much closer match.
Yeah, it would have been.
However, the lead still isn't that different in caps. Maybe OSP could... They can't get to the B point. They're not getting the A point. The E point could be something.
So the problem I see is that all the cap points are covered by beam destroyers. And OSP doesn't have any cruise missiles. So the only way you're taking these down is in a direct fight. And that's exactly what they want to do. You can get a crazy flank off, but not with the small amount of ships that OSP has left in the field. Not realistically.
Beam DD is starting to throw itself onto the C point here. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to make it, but everything besides the beam's in pretty good condition.
Avalon getting murdered. ANS is starting to lose vessels, though. They're losing one Vauxhall, they're losing one Axford. It is going to severely reduce their ability to fight. But I do think that they win just off the backs of the well-positioned beam destroyers and the current cap lead.
Yeah.
There's continuing to run around, track down multi-mission tugs, and fill them full of bullets. Pump them full of hot lead. I'm running around with Tommy guns.
Rattle 'em, boys.
Javelin's dying pretty hard and fast, though. SP is going to maintain the Charlie point and probably their Delta point for a while. They might get a sneaky cap on Echo. Dramus has snuck in the Serapatite onto the Echo point, which is not covered by a beam destroyer. There are several gun sprinters down here which can shoot at the shuttle, but gun sprinters are not killing this in 60 seconds. Gun sprinters are not killing this in 3 minutes. They take a while to get anything done.
It's always these Wake missiles called Chris Pratt, which is a bit confusing.
The enemy secured zone eclipse.
Technically, if OSP did hold this current cap advantage, they would win, wouldn't they?
Yep.
But, you know, we have to see if they manage to pull that off.
They just don't have the assets to control the map is the problem. So even though they will be able to eke out several instances of a cap lead over the next rest of the game, probably.
Yeah,
they
the
just
second
can't
they
hold
lose
it.
the front line, they can't hold it, yeah.
Beam Destroyer is going for the Charlie cap and is dying violently. Do the monitors that are spread around up here.
They just have to hit the, oh, where is he? The CIC's dead, they just need to hit the ONYX steering, which is a bit trickier to kill.
ANS is not in a position. They do have a very strong lead, especially in the military front, but they cannot afford to be throwing away ships like this.
Well, now they're going to get the E point back. They're parking an Axford on top of it, so they're going to keep the cap lead. And it looks like C is going to be cap. They weren't able to get the ONYX steering in the bow.
Enemy secured zone combat.
So yeah, it looks like the final nail in the coffin.
Looping around to grab the Charlie points. They are going to be able to maintain that. Echo being capped as well. Yeah, that's the end of the game.
Zone combat.
Telemachus.
Well, it was a good showing from Corvusite anyway. At least I think so.
We are contesting zone combat.
Yeah, there goes the monitor getting hit enough so that it can no longer try to cap and it can only contest. Oh no, yeah. The sprinter entered the cap actually.
Alright, I figured OSP would call it here, but they're not. We are. So I will see you in the after action report momentarily. Hello, and welcome to the after action report. INS team to OSP. INS did take it. That's going to give Team ONYX 2 W's.
Yes, that'll be Team ONYX moving on in the next bracket. We'll see them later in the tournament. Corvusite, unfortunately, didn't manage to win this bracket, but yeah, they gave a very good showing regardless, I think.
So we are going to hop up to the Violence waiting room and discuss with the teams.
worked, it fucking hurt. Seriously.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
the rails
I
were
mean,
good.
the rails only did about like 2,200 damage a piece on that one, and like in a normal setting, that's fine. In this kind of setting, that's severely lacking. You'd have to do like twice that to really have an effect.
You guys have, yeah, it was just oops all monitors. So, I don't know. I have a terminal skill issue with capital ships, so I'm surprised I was able to net even 3k on Trebuchet. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's like my 5th time running in Axford, so it's hell.
Dang.
I couldn't think that game. It was just so much meat, and I had nothing to hurt it with. So
Thinking's hard.
thinking is
Thinking
hard.
is hard.
Yeah, I'm very bad at thinking. Don't worry. You could
That's
tell
why
for
I'm not
this whole video.
I'm just sad we didn't get to play that one out on Gold Rush, but say Liberty.
Gold Rush would have been so good. Yeah, good fight.
Now I
Oh.
go cry.
We should line up and slap each other's hands like middle school soccer.
All right, that's great.
So what, are all you spectators gonna make like a hand tunnel for us to run through or something?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, like your parents used to.
That's whoever wins the championship.
I don't know.
I'm glad to see that people are still carrying on the proud tradition of the stupid fucking
Can we just do
hand
one
tunnel.
of these where like,
No. If you win the tournament, you get to lie on a futon while Dark feeds you grapes.
The wall of good games is it's tradition. It's not even middle school soccer. It carries on forever and ever and ever.
Alrighty.
Bit of, like, context for it.
What do you guys think of the first round, both teams?
And I'm not saying this as like in a diminishing way. I did not play well in either game, but I feel like we were able to mitigate that by making them not play well through just positioning
Yeah.
error.
yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, I think the DDs were in a great position for D, but not great for the heavy E push. Or E side push, I guess.
I will say we had a lot of
You talking
it was
about
kind of
game 1 and 2?
game 1. The one thing we had is, I mean, I don't think I even took damage on the monitor form. It's just we had reserves. It was like a game of checkers. You couldn't move up. I couldn't move up because the rail array. I couldn't move forward because then the beam BB would be within potential range, and so it was just a demented game of Ring Around the Rosie.
Also, never mind.
The Ellens did a really good job of positioning themselves in such a way that my axe herds had to either like not shoot any of them or be shot by all of them. It was really well
Aw.
played there.
Thank you.
And you didn't want to deploy up tops, but I told you it was a good.
Hey, I deployed how I wanted to.
All right. Hater.
The Dyson Spear compliments make my heart swell.
I don't know. I think we lost at least 2 liners to Styx's dark depth perception issue because of the beam BB. If I had a nickel for every asset, that just went like a moth to the flame. And then I also forgot to put a drive in my A cap. I thought I was taking the reactor out. I took the drive out. So I just had I just had I had an A cap shuttle sitting there, and I also
This
got
was
the
a
names
shuttle
mixed
this time
up.
instead of a liner.
True. And then I also got the names mixed up, so I named one of my rocket shuttles A cap, and the A cap the name of the rocket shuttle, and so I thought that I fucked up the formation, and so that fucked with my rollout for solid like 2 minutes before I went, ooh. Took me way too long to figure that out.
Things happen.
Yeah. Then the Torp Gambit failed, but c'est la vie. I'll trade 600 points for a maybe kill on a DD or BD.
Were y'all laughing at my experts in the beginning because I spent like 10 minutes shooting a bunch of clippers, but I fought for my men's?
Oh, that's what you were doing. I was too busy being frustrated trying to get either your Axfords or I think Meany's Destroyer below Delta under fire, and I just couldn't do either of them for way too long.
I couldn't focus on anything that second game. There was just I was like, oh, let me go over here and fight something different, and then it was more monitors. Okay, well, let's go over here and fight something different. It was more monitors. All right, well, let's try a missile play, and there was more monitors.
Oops, all monitors.
I mean, yeah. The skew build is both a blessing and a curse. So I think my gun vets acquitted themselves well, deleting the cringe shuttles and getting those caps early.
Oh, that shit was so cursed.
I love them. And then I forgot that I made my A cap a fake Solomon, so I didn't get to play that card, but that would have happened later. It's just there's no real open sight lines to dangle it on Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
So I don't have much to say about that second game. My brain is fried.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be fried after. Everyone's brains are probably fried after having to manage all those fleets.
Huh?
Aw.
Yeah, Virgil's cooked.
I was just watching and I'm already cooked.
Alright, well, we've gone pretty far off the reservation here at this point. Just kind of fucking around, which is fine. We do that, especially around these parts. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Vastol's running the tournament here, which is just wonderful. I'm so glad he's doing this. I was thinking about putting one together. In fact, I was pretty close to doing it before he messaged me. But, oh, it has been so nice having someone else take point on any community effort for this game. Makes my life way easier, and getting another brain on the project means for something interesting. I definitely wouldn't have done a 6K TV2. I'd be doing more 3K 4v4s because that's what I know. But this has been really cool. We've seen some unique builds as people try to deal with the micro demands of 6K. It hasn't just been 2 3K fleets stapled together. It's been genuine out and out 6Ks. It's been cool to see like that triple Axford last game. You don't see that on a... That's not real. You can't fit that in a 3K. I've been happy with these games. It's been some really good matches too, even though, especially in the second series, even though it was the score might say 2-zip, both of those were really close games right at the start. Anyways, for the first like half, and then we went to tipping point. Military victories are weird. It's hard to explain them because they are close, but in a different way. In a way that doesn't look close on the scoreboard. Oh boy, now I'm going off on who knows where. I hope some of that made sense. I have a Discord that these are being hosted out of. It's open, come on down, join. All skill levels are welcome. We love getting new players and teaching them. We spend a lot of time teaching new players. In fact, almost everybody here who is a regular around these parts was a new player in this server at one point. I mean, hell, we've got Snipes, What I See, and Meanie. I remember when they were all blues. Here they are, all brilliant, bright golds. And there's a blue now. Alright, now you don't need a play-by-play of who's joining the fucking server to do stuff. I have a Patreon link down in the description to help support my community running and server running efforts. And this has been match 4 or 5 or 6 or so, something of the tournament. This has been a single-digit match of the tournament. Good night.